Detective Valerie Cole knows the secret signature of a serial killer called the Architect, a single origami crane left in each victim's hand. But the Architect has been dead for 6 years. One morning, Valerie receives an origami crane in the mail with her coffee. 3 days later, another crane arrives, along with a photo of her daughter's school. Terrified, she thinks she is being hunted by a ghost. But when she unfolds the paper crane, she finds a hidden message. The sender is not hunting her. The sender is recruiting her to expose a massive conspiracy that is being hidden under the cover of a dead killer's name. Valerie Cole was a brilliant police detective in a large, rainy city. She worked on the hardest cases, but one case always stayed in her mind. It was the case of a serial killer called the Architect. The Architect was extremely clever, but he was also cruel. Every time he killed, he left a small, blue paper origami crane inside the victim's closed fist. The police never told the public about the paper cranes. It was their deepest secret. 6 years ago, the Architect died in a high-speed car crash. The city finally felt safe. Valerie thought the nightmare was over. But one Tuesday morning, Valerie sat at her desk with a hot cup of coffee. A small, brown package was waiting for her. There was no return address and no postage stamp. Valerie opened the box and gasped. Inside, sitting on a soft piece of cotton, was a perfect, blue paper origami crane. Valerie felt a cold sweat on her neck. She checked the box for fingerprints, but there were none. She looked around the busy police station, wondering who could have left it. Only 3 people in the world knew about the cranes, and the other 2 were retired. 3 days later, a second package arrived at her desk. Valerie opened it with trembling hands. Inside was another blue paper crane. But this time, there was also a photograph. The photograph showed the front gate of a local school. Standing near the gate was Valerie's 10-year-old daughter, Lily. Valerie's heart stopped. Fear turned into pure anger. She was not just a detective anymore, she was a mother. She immediately called her husband and told him to keep Lily safe inside their home. Then, Valerie ran to the dusty police vault in the basement. She locked herself inside and pulled out the old Architect case files. Valerie began to study 3 recent murders in the city. The newspapers said these murders were random, but Valerie noticed something strange. At each crime scene, a small paper crane had been found in the victim's hand. The young detectives on the cases thought it was a copycat killer. But Valerie knew the truth. The paper cranes were folded in the exact same style as the Architect's cranes. The folds were perfect. But Valerie also saw a massive problem. The Architect had been dead for 6 years. Valerie had personally identified his body after the crash. He was definitely gone. Suddenly, Valerie looked closely at the blue paper crane from the second package. She decided to do something she had never done before. She carefully unfolded the tiny paper bird. As she flattened the paper on her desk, she saw neat, handwritten words on the inside. The message read, "Detective Cole, I am not hunting you. I am recruiting you. The Architect is dead, but someone is using his ghost." The 3 recent murders were not committed by a serial killer. They were committed by a powerful corporation to hide their tracks. Look at the city server logs. They are robbing the treasury at the exact times of the murders. The cranes are just camouflage. Find the real crimes. Help me expose them before they strike again. Valerie sat in the quiet vault, her breath shaking. She realized the terrifying truth. The copycat was not a killer at all. It was a whistleblower who had studied the secret case files. The sender wanted the only detective who knew the architect's signature to look past the blood, and see the massive theft hidden in the dark. Valerie looked at the photo of her daughter's school. It was not a threat. It was a warning that the corporate killers were watching. Slowly, Valerie turned on her computer and began to search the city's secret server logs. The hunt had changed, and the game was just beginning.